Viewers, what was meant to be India's defining AI movement in the national capital was deliberately defaced by political theatrics. The AI Impact Summit 2026, hosting global leaders and big tech heavyweights, was hijacked by chaos as Shirtless, Indian Youth Congress workers stormed a high-security venue, turning a global showcase into a national embarrassment. At a time when India was projecting itself as a serious global technology power, the Congress chose disruption over dialogue. On the penultimate day of the summit, semi-nude protesters shouting slogans caught delegates and attendees completely off guard, creating scenes more associated with street protests than an international technology conclave. Inside the summit hall, the top CEOs and the global leaders were discussing artificial intelligence, innovation, and India's role in the future global economy. Outside, slogans rang out against the India-U.S. trade framework, with protesters waving their removed T-shirts and shouting anti-government slogans, dragging politics into a space meant for global collaboration. People present at one of the halls said they heard loud sloganeering and stepped out to see what was happening, only to find a group of shirtless men from the Indian Youth Congress forcing their way in, chanting slogans and attempting to disrupt the proceedings.
Protest not should be here because this is the global arena that Honorable Prime Minister is showcasing, and Shri Ashwini Vaishnav ji also delivering great message from this summit. And we as a विपक्ष also, मैं तो ये कहता हूँ कि राहुल गांधी जी और सभी विपक्ष के जितने भी पॉलिटिकल पर्सन हैं उन्हें एकजुट होकर अभी समिट में एक ग्लोबली इंटीग्रेटेड छवि बनाने के लिए भारत में इस तरीके के प्रोटेस्ट अभी ड्यूरिंग द समिट, दिस इज द वेरी रॉन्ग थिंग।
12:30 बजे के लगभग की घटना है। इन्होंने ऑनलाइन रजिस्ट्रेशन किया, क्यूआर कोड के माध्यम से जो स्कैनिंग होती है जिससे आम जनता सभी के लिए फैसिलिटेशन है, उससे लोग अंदर आए। इन्होंने ऊपर से स्वेटर जैकेट ये पहना हुआ था, नीचे से एक टी शर्ट ऑब्जेक्शनेबल टी शर्ट पहनी थी। हॉल नंबर 5 के पास में आके इन्होंने अपने ऊपर से स्वेटर और जैकेट को उतारा, नीचे से टी शर्ट लहराते हुए इन्होंने प्रोटेस्ट किया। हम इनमें अप्रोप्रिएट लीगल एक्शन ले रहे हैं और जो कुछ लोगों को इनमें से डिटेन किया है और बाकी की पहचान कर रहे हैं।
सर, किस तरह से ये लोग अंदर घुसे? क्या प्रॉपर ये चैनल के थ्रू गए थे? इन्होंने उसी किस तरह से अंदर भारत में उनके अंदर ही घुसे?
क्यूआर कोड कोई भी आदमी ऑनलाइन रजिस्टर करा सकता है वेबसाइट पे। उन्होंने ऑनलाइन रजिस्ट्रेशन करा के अपने लिए क्यूआर कोड बनाया, जनरेट किया। उस क्यूआर कोड को स्कैन करके और अपने जो ऑब्जेक्शनेबल टी शर्ट है जिसका इन्होंने प्रोटेस्ट किया, उस टी शर्ट के ऊपर से स्वेट।
At least 4 protesters were detained, sources said. They have been identified as Krishna Hari, National Secretary of the Indian Youth Congress, Kundan Yadav, Bihar Youth Congress State Secretary, Ajay Kumar, UP Youth Congress Vice President, and Narasimha Yadav, Youth Congress National Coordinator. Sources say that the Congress workers were prepared in advance to disrupt the event and somehow managed to acquire the QR codes to enter the high security summit venue. Police has clarified that anyone could have done so. Now, police are now using facial recognition software to identify all those involved, with the officials indicating that more arrests are likely. The political reaction was swift and sharp. The BJP called the shirtless protest shameless and brainless attempt of the Congress, which the Saffron Party claimed acted out of the jealousy over India's growth story and global standing.
कांग्रेस पार्टी आज शार्टलेस नहीं सेमलेस प्रदर्शन किया है। इसको कितना भी कठोर भाषा में निंदा किया जाए वो कम होगा। जब देश आज भारत की प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी की नेतृत्व के कारण, उनकी विजन के कारण दुनिया के सिरमौर बन रहा है, उस समय में कांग्रेस पार्टी इस प्रकार की बेहूदी काम करके बड़ा निंदनीय काम किया। अभी तक तो हम समझ सकते हैं उनकी विरोध प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी की लोकप्रियता के ऊपर था।
Their jealousy, their envy, their disappointment that Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi is emerging as the most popular leader, not only in India but across the world. It clearly shows that the Congress party is bereft of any positive program or nation-building ideas.
बीजेपी कह रही है कि इससे देश का अपमान हुआ। पूरे ग्लोबल लीडर्स वहां पर आए हुए थे, कांग्रेस एआई की हम बात कर रहे हैं और कांग्रेस एआई माने एंटी इंडिया बातें कर रही है। राहुल गांधी जो नेता
कांग्रेस ने देश को शर्मसार कर दिया,
शर्मसार किया, और राहुल गांधी के घर पे प्रोटेस्ट करने भी बीजेपी के युवा मोर्चा के लोग जा रहे हैं।
राहुल गांधी
और
घर
तमाम
पे
मंत्री चाहे पीयूष गोयल हो चाहे शिवराज सिंह चौहान हो, वो सब इस बात की निंदा करते हैं।
राहुल गांधी के घर पे इसकी प्लानिंग हुई है भी कहा।
देखिए, युवा हैं, जोश में आ जाते हैं। जिस तरह से उनके भविष्य का गला घोंटा जा रहा है, जिस तरह से भारत ने समर्पण किया है, जिस तरह से युवाओं के पूरे जो करियर है उसके ऊपर सवालिया निशान लगता जा रहा है, तो कभी कभी जोश में आ जाते हैं। और आज उन्होंने अपने जोश को प्रकट करने के लिए किया है।
लेकिन सर इसको क्या माना जाए, क्योंकि बीजेपी तो आप लोगों को टैग कर
रही है, कांग्रेस पार्टी राहुल गांधी के समर्थन से
राहुल गांधी के इशारे पर ये सारी चीजें हुई।
इस देश में पहले बहुत सारे अंतर्राष्ट्रीय कार्यक्रम हुए। मुझे याद है कॉमनवेल्थ के जब हो रहे थे तो नितिन गडकरी अध्यक्ष थे और बैरिकेड के ऊपर प्रदर्शन पूरे देश के अंदर कर रहे थे, और खुद बीजेपी अध्यक्ष उसके अंदर जाते थे। तो तब देश की अंतर्राष्ट्रीय इमेज की बात नहीं होती थी, बीजेपी करती थी, तो वो उनका लोकतांत्रिक हक था। और यहाँ युवाओं का है, थोड़ा जोश प्रकट हुआ है।
The Congress argues that the protest was to expose BJP. The party claims that the protest was to highlight the Indo-U.S. trade deal, Epstein files, and raging unemployment in the country. The protest was not unique, but the venue definitely was. The larger question remains, when the world was watching India for leadership in artificial intelligence, was this dissent or deliberate disruption, protest or political panic required? India showcased its AI ambition, but the Congress chose confrontation, turning a movement of global attention into a scene of avoidable chaos. On this issue, I'm joined by Prakash Javadekar, former Union Minister. Thank you so much, sir, for joining me. Your opening comments on the protest that has taken place at Bharat Mandapam.
See, this is utter desperation of Congress. They want to see and they want to defeat Modi ji and see that Modi is not in the power. So they give slogans like Modi teri kabar khudegi. So this is their mindset. This is anarchic toolkit. And in this toolkit, they have done this. This is an international way of left liberals, urban naxals. Everywhere in the world where there is a conference, there will be some such kind of protest, sometimes inside, sometimes outside. So this is utter desperation of Congress. That is what I feel. And everybody will condemn them. They don't understand by their action, they are becoming unpopular more and more. And in democratic fight, if you fight for a right cause, and this trade argument is a afterthought.
Okay.
Because they have taken Galgotia University's symbol with them, so that they wanted to protest in AI only and defame India. But as there was a mass reaction over this, they converted it to trade agreement. Trade agreement has nothing to do with this conference. And this is what it is. Congress is utter desperation is the only word.
Sir,
we can
how would
say.
you respond to what Gurdeep Sapal was saying, that when the Commonwealth was happening, even Nitin Gadkari was protesting as the president of BJP. I remember you were spokesperson at that point of time.
Yeah, but that was a different issue. It was not about games. It was about the corruption in the games. And the bridge had just collapsed. So that demonstration outside is different. Our demonstrators never entered in the stadium. That is the main difference. And this is low in the Indian politics. Day by day, they are going desperate. Every day, and on every issue, they have to backtrack. They have to backtrack, but still they continue their anarchic mindset, because they think that with such tactics only we can make a change in India. But they don't know that Modi becomes more stronger with such antics.
Congress party says that, this was a reflection of the frustration which the youth have in this country.
No, that is also not correct. Actually, youth today our unemployment rate has come down than many other countries. That is one. Second, now AI will provide more opportunities. See, these urban Nakshals and communists, they used to protest against computer also. I was working in bank, and that time when bank brought computers first, one computer will destroy 23 jobs. That was the narrative. But that actually didn't happen. Actually, it created more jobs because it's an ecosystem. So AI ecosystem will create more jobs. People will have to relearn, people will have to acquire new skills. But without any skills, you can't aspire for a big thing. And first industrial revolution we missed because we were under British domination. Then second industrial revolution also we used only little. Third revolution, IT revolution, we went little ahead. But now this is the fourth transition in the world happening with AI revolution. This AI revolution will definitely create more jobs. Take it from me that it will create more jobs in the ultimate analysis. People will have to relearn, reskill, and acquiring different skill. That is what learning process is all through life. This is the fast stage of
So you're basically,
learning
before I move to the other segment of the story, but you're basically saying that this is a political harakiri.
utter desperation, a political harakiri, and people will never approve of this because this was the platform where more than 20 presidents of the country, 60 top 60 ministers, and 100 top industrialists in AI. So all had come, and there was thousands of Indian students and youths have presented their case, and there was a wonderful exhibition. So this was an actually moment of pride because Indian youth is also ultimately into innovation and he is succeeding. So this innovation only will create the wealth.
But I think the most important takeaway is that you said that when Nitin Gadkari and the BJP at that point of time protested, you did not go inside the stadium. You were protesting outside.
Correct.
And it happened because one of the bridges fell, I think.
Bridges fell and there was a wide charge, wide scale corruption. With proofs we did it. And outside, not inside the stadium.
Okay. Sir, thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Javadekar, for joining me. Thank you so much. On this debate now, let me open it up. I'm joined by Brijesh Pandey, input editor of News9, Manish Bharia, spokesperson, Bharatiya Janata Party, and Shivam Bhagat, spokesperson, Congress Party. Now, let's decode it. Why? Is there a difference between a party function and a function of government? Are we going to obliterate those lines? Let me straight away go to Mr. Bhagat first, sir. Are those lines being obliterated now?
Good evening.
And why did Jairam Ramesh not speak? Why is the person in charge of the AICC speaking? Why is Pawan Khera speaking? Why did the top man in charge of the media chose not to answer the question, sir?
Good evening. Let me first explain Article 19 of the Constitution. Article 19(1)(a) says that we have the right to freedom of speech and expression. 19(1)(b) says that we have the right to free assembly. The Youth Congress protest was democratic, peaceful, and rooted in constitutional rights. Let me start off by saying that. If the youth of our country is disturbed, we are anyway at the highest levels of unemployment in decades. And now with AI coming in, we are at the risk of losing jobs in multiple sectors. And who will be affected? That will be the youth. So if a group of youngsters has gone to protest democratically, I don't see anything wrong in that. Number one. Number two, what is embarrassing is not a group of youngsters going there. What is embarrassing is the pathetic state of management at the AISummit. What is embarrassing is that citizens have had to walk for 5 kilometers to get a cab. What is embarrassing is that whoever has been able to manage managed to park their cars has not been allowed to take their keys inside. That is what is embarrassing.
So were you protesting the mismanagement, sir?
I'll come to that. What is embarrassing is that you have someone like a Galgotia's University passing off a Chinese robot as an Indian robot. That is embarrassing. What is embarrassing is the Prime Minister trying to hold the hand of Sam Altman and him refusing it and then later ridiculing it on camera. That is what is embarrassing, not a group of youngsters protesting where their jobs are going and where their jobs are going to be affected. Therefore, democracy is all about dissent. Democracy is all
democracy is all
also
about dissent, but is democracy about making fun of your own country in an international venue? This is not a political function. I mean, it's completely understandable if there's a it's a political function, Shivam. You know, it's not a political function. Let me straight away go to Mr. Bariyar. Mr. Bariyar,
let me complete. Let me just respond to that.
Okay.
Is it okay when the Prime Minister gives multiple bites to Reuters, Bloomberg, Wall Street Journal during the UPA years? Is it okay when the Prime Minister ridicules and the BJP ridicules the Congress when President Obama visited in 2010? Is that embarrassing the country? Questioning the government is not questioning the country. It is not embarrassing the country. It is a democratic right that everyone has, whether it is an AI summit, because AI is directly affecting jobs. That's why we are asking.
Okay. Let me take a quick response from Manish. Manish, my question is very simple. Is there a difference between a party function and a function of the state? Mr. Bariyar.
Yeah, good evening to you and good evening to my co-panelists and all the viewers. Before answering your question, I would like to say that, there is a term in Hindi called biskopadi. And this is what is the leader of opposition and all the Congress people have become. This is such a shameful act. All those people whom you saw, were they looking political workers? I thought they were looking all wrestlers, gunda kind of people straight coming out of some place. That's what I can really, I'm sorry, my flap has gone haywire, but that is what they were looking at. Was it a protest? Was it not something which was, damaging to our nation? It's such a huge summit where India, along with US and China, is now the third pole as far as AI is concerned. Hundreds of people, lakhs of people have come, 100 countries represented, 37 countries represented, more than 100 delegates from top companies. Now, this was the kind of, we are looking at AI economy. And what Congress is doing, they are really embarrassing the country, damaging the country. And this is something which has to be condemned very, very harshly. This is unacceptable. And having said that, it is important for the viewers and the people of this country to know that there is a complete bankruptcy as far as Congress is concerned. तो जब प्रधानमंत्री जी बोलते थे कांग्रेस मुक्त भारत, ये एक्चुअली सपोर्ट कर रही है, खुद ही कांग्रेस मुक्त हो जाएंगे. The country will become one day, you will see. And if this kind of cheap stuff they are going to do in front of the global audience, right? So you have China actually mocking, Pakistan mocking, and Congress mocking. Okay. So these are the three people who are together mocking the country.
Vijay, do you think it's a self-goal after the Galgotia's fiasco that happened? Do you think what Congress has done is a pure self-goal? Because look at the reactions that have come. One, the reaction didn't come on time. When Jairam was speaking, he chose to address what he wanted to. Then he, left. Then the reaction came from Gurdeep Sapal. Then subsequently there was a Twitter reaction from Pawan Khera, as if one, the entire leadership was not in queue, the senior leadership. And secondly, your understanding of what has happened today at the summit.
Well, if you ask me, I would say that it's a tactical error by the Congress party. If I'm the Congress party, everything that was going on was in my favor. If I'm the Congress party. The fact is that, that the this AI summit was in news for all the wrong reasons, which shouldn't have been the case, but unfortunately it did. The first day fiasco, all the founders who were supposed to wait outside, equipment being stolen and things like that. Then the very next day, or rather the evening itself, Ashwini Vaishnav tweeting that Galgotia University tweet, and then later on, being fact-checked on Twitter, him deleting the tweet. Next morning, the entire Galgotia fiasco, the government was embarrassed. And then there was an umbrella shadow of Epstein file on it, given the arrival of, Bill Gates. and it was hugely anticipated. A lot of back and forth was going on that whether will he, won't he, will he speak, won't he speak. The government sources were saying he won't. The Bill Gates Foundation said that he will. So, I mean, anything and everything that could overshadow this otherwise, big AI summit, which was happening. Now, what exactly happened? With Indian youth Congress workers joining the protest and the way they protested about it, I think they completely gave BJP a huge leeway to shift from all of the embarrassment they were facing for the first 3 days to point the guns at the Congress party. So basically, I would say that with this protest, Congress actually provided a leeway to the BJP to wriggle out of the embarrassment that was there. It was a tactical error, I would say.
Okay, Mr. Bhagat, Epstein files, trade, unemployment, I think these were the issues that were raised in Parliament. They were raised inside, they were raised outside the Parliament. I think in public forums, the spokespersons have been talking about it, your leaders have been writing editorials about it. What was the need to do it in a multilateral fora? I mean to say these are like trade fairs where multiple countries, multiple ministers, head of nations are involved. What was the political purpose? I mean, so the messaging is for the domestic audience, not for people who have come from Brazil or France or other countries.
What about the American CEO who was invited to Mr. Modi's dinner and could not reach because of 4 hours of traffic? Whose mismanagement was that? Is that not an embarrassment?
My question is, why did Congress?
Do you want to save the government from its embarrassment?
Why did?
I'm saying, I mean, if it is
why
embarrassed.
Why were you protesting in that place? I mean to say, there is no point. I'm not arguing the issues that you are supposed to choose. It is your right to choose. I mean, that's not for me to discuss. I'm just asking you, why did you do it in the Bharat Mandapam? Inside
why
where?
Not? I don't understand why not, because when we speak in Parliament, first, 90% of the times the leader of the opposition is not allowed to speak. When he speaks, his remarks are expunged. When he goes outside, he has a press conference, 10% of media outlets only cover it. The newspapers don't cover it. Where should we protest then? I mean, if we are protesting democratically inside an AI summit, what is the big deal?
No,
it is a group of youngsters.
I think it's wrong to use the word democratic protest inside AI summit. I mean to say that that's not democratic.
So
you disrupted
why
it,
is
sir.
Not democratic.
You disrupted it.
How
That's
did we disrupt it?
You disrupted something.
How many
let me Indian Youth Congress worker,
rephrase it for you, sir. India was being showcased, not Bharatiya Janata Party.
They're youngsters then, but it's a qualifying rider. They were Indian Youth Congress workers. So it was more of political nature rather than a spontaneous outburst of youth against the policies of the government.
Are we legally wrong? Does the constitution not allow it? If we are not heard outside the AI summit, and if we are not heard in the newspapers and in the parliament and in the media in general, and so we have to find places to go and protest where we are heard. Now you are looking, the media is covering it, the media is having a huge problem.
Aren't you worried about aren't you worried, Shivam, I'm really surprised, but okay, that's up to you, but aren't you worried that you're getting more negative press than the positive press? I mean to say, there's one thing to get some space, but there's, another thing to get a very negative space. Manish, my question, chalo, okay, they feel that they're not being covered by media, they're not being covered by newspapers, TV, they have done it. My point to you is very, very simple. You guys also protested in front of Rahul Gandhi's office, Rahul Gandhi's residence?
Yeah, so, this is a very
And you guys were also using Deshdrohi slogans, all that?
See, accepted. In fact, in politics, naming people and everything has been a long tradition, started by Congress only, but anyway, it happens. But imagine something of this happening in any other country, and this kind of a protest. This is like self-goal, not only as a party, but the people of he's talking about youth. Youth would be so angry about this. We are talking about somewhere around $200 billion of investments, right? That's what we are talking about for youth. I don't know whether they understand or not that what are the actually the aspirations of youth. They want actually high-tech jobs. The whole number of lakhs of engineers are coming out of this country, and they're looking forward to working in these high-tech industries. They're looking forward to such kind of companies like Microsoft or Nvidia or OpenAI investing here. And here is a party, they are completely disconnected with youth. And look at the kind of youth who came from Congress. If you look at their, उनका चाल चलन चरित्र सब कुछ दिख जाता है आपको. वो दिखते कहीं से भी youth, 35, 38, 40-year-old people, unemployed people, I don't know, employed by Congress.
Okay.
They're saying that they are youth, so they are completely disconnected.
On the basis
and I
of their
think
looks.
that's where they have lost it.
Shivam, you wanted to come in? Then I'll ask. Then I have a
you are-
question for Brijesh. Okay, let me ask this question to you. You know, if this would have been a genuinely huge, big protest, then I would have expected a lot of people. You know, all of them are senior stakeholders of Youth Congress, general secretaries, president. They are not junior people. They represent positions in your organization.
So I mean, that's fine. I'm sure they have positions and whoever they were. But I first take exception to the BJP panelists profiling people on their basis of looks. This is such discrimination. But who are they looking like? They are looking like gundas. I mean, sir, if people can look a certain way and
They're
still
actually
protest,
gundas.
it's very sad.
Look
that
at
you
the
are,
background, they are gundas
It's
only.
very sad. You should be ashamed.
That is what they have done.
You should be very
It was
ashamed of
Gunda Act.
yourself. Anyway,
Nothing
coming
else.
back to the debate.
They are going to go
Coming
to
back to
jail.
the debate. When
They have cases
coming back to the
against him,
point,
they are going to go to jail.
let's not profile people on the basis of how they look. Anyway, coming back to the debate of Kartikeya ji asked. Kartikeya ji, they might be stakeholders in the Indian Youth Congress, but they are still young. And if they have an issue, if the government has gone and signed a trade deal with the US without giving any answers, the Prime Minister has not come out and taken any questions, if a group of youngsters has gone, thoda josh mein aake they have gone, are we legally wrong? Are we constitutionally or democratically wrong?
But I think the ministers have spoken.
As the Prime Minister
Shivraj
spoken,
Chauhan has spoken, Piyush
and
Goyal
he
has
signed the
spoken.
trade deal.
I
Has the
think
spoken?
Prime Minister has given an interview. Yes, there is an... Okay, you're talking about Parliament, but the PM has spoken.
PM has spoken in Parliament later. Has he addressed the Russian oil issue? Has
I
he
mean, so the
addressed
MEA has issued it, but
AI
you know,
issue?
I think it's there. I think every day MEA has been given explanations. You know,
No,
you know,
they have not
you
given
know,
explanations about the Russian oil. They have not
again, you are
named
diverting.
Russian
No.
oil.
The question is, you have all the right to corner BJP, and I have no issues on that. You can corner them on anything. It's, but I'm a journalist. But my question is, why do you have to do that in Bharat Mandapam? Bharat Mandapam does not belong to BJP. It belongs to India. That is the moot question.
But what is wrong in it? If there are 10,000 people there and a group of 20 youngsters have quickly gone and protested, it is a right to protest.
Vijesh,
it happens in the US,
I mean, say,
it
okay,
happens in the,
you are
it happens in
you are the
France,
input editor.
it
Can you
happens everywhere.
Can you decode it for me? I mean, so what was the intention? Publicity, but publicity translating into negative press.
See, I think, you know, it was more of a guerrilla tactics. The thought process must have been that we'll go and disrupt.
If you ask me honestly, you know, Manish is also there as the BJP spokesperson. You know, they have wasted away what has happened with Galgotias. You know, I as a viewer would say, you know, Galgotias dominated a lot of things, gave them the bad press. This has completely washed it out.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I started with. It's a huge tactical error. Not everything in politics, not everything has to be legal or illegal. The fact is, it's all about narrative. They had the entire thing on platter. You know, the Bharat Mandapam AI summit was on all news for all the wrong reasons on the day one. With, you know, with the INV minister coming under question, China Pulse fact-checking him, and then next day, you know, the entire fiasco of Galgotia University happening, then Epstein's shadow on the AI summit, and Bill Gates had to, you know, get out of it. I mean, it was going like a dream. If I was the congressman, I started by saying I would be the happiest person. I didn't have to even lift my finger to, you know, to embarrass the Bharatiya Janata Party. But now by doing this, you know, what has happened is that the entire course of narration has shifted from what was embarrassing to the government to the embarrassing act by the by the Congress Party.
I think I take this as a conclusive, you know, point to end my show. Thank you, Manish. Thank you, Shivam, for joining me. I personally feel that this protest at Bharat Mandapam should not have taken place. This protest could have taken place anywhere. It doesn't make a difference. It's a democratic country. You raise Epstein issue. You know, minister has come out and given clarification on this issue. You can raise trade issue. You can raise it in Parliament, outside Parliament. But I think where the prestige of the country is involved, those are no-go areas.